every era of the NBA, we have a handful of trash talkers, like Bird and Magic from the 80s, or Michael Jordan entering the 90s. We've seen trash talking evolve with the game all the way until present day, and there's always a common occurrence. When these players trash talk, from Bird to Jordan, from Kobe to Luka, all these players have something in common. All these players can back up their words with phenomenal performances that solidify the trash talk they've spewed at their opponents. But what happens when a player can't back up their words? How does that make them look in the public eye? When Dillon Brooks entered the league in 2017, he was drafted as the 45th pick in the second round. He was basically a bottom-of-the-barrel pickup that got signed by the Houston Rockets but then immediately traded to the Memphis Grizzlies. When Brooks debuted, he scored 19 points, which is actually pretty decent. Throughout the years, he's had a couple of career highs, scoring 36 points here, 37 points there. But where Dillon gets most of his recognition is from how his personality has developed on the basketball court. As Brooks has gotten more comfortable being in the league, he's definitely shown it through his attitude when he plays, and the first recorded instance of this would be when he was playing against the Golden State Warriors in the 2022 Western Conference Semifinals, where he and his teammate John Morant would taunt and trash talk, trying to get inside their opponents' heads, but that's not all that would happen in that series. There would also be an instance where Gary Payton II would go up for a layup, and Brooks would flagrantly foul him, and because of this action, he would ultimately be at fault as Gary Payton II would fracture his elbow, breaking his fall. Now this would be just the start of dirty plays by Brooks, as he's given many low blows to fellow NBA players such as Donovan Mitchell, where he straight up punched him in the groin, and even more recently against LeBron James, where he could be seen getting him below the belt, all while talking the same trash on the court. And with all this being said, you can notice a trend as his personality contradicts his game. Every time he quote-unquote tries to get in his opponent's head, he either follows up with dirty plays or lights a fire under his opponent's behind and basically hammers the nails into his own coffin. And you can see this by his latest antics against the Lakers that he has done exactly that. While Memphis took Game 1 of the series, they showed their cockiness against the Lakers, but the Lakers have responded by winning Game 2, 3, and 4. And after Game 2, Dillon Brooks had a hilarious interview after calling LeBron old and that he can't respect a player that can't give him 40 points. Now I know the whole argument behind that is that Dillon is a defense-first type of player, but he hasn't even held LeBron under 20 points this whole series, while the most he's been able to generate is 15 points. Not to mention that he has never ever scored 40 points in the span of his entire 6-year career. It's honestly laughable at how much trash talking he has done throughout his career, and in my humble opinion, I feel that he might go down as the worst trash talker in NBA history. And I understand him leaning into the villain role, but he is the most hated NBA player in the league as of right now. And with the Memphis Grizzlies being a very young team, I understand how each player can feed off of each other's energy, but if they don't get some veterans or someone to humble them, I can see them getting clowned over and over again until they ultimately get humbled by that. Even now, he's been getting clowned for talking trash but not being able to back it up. Even Stephen A. Smith had a few words for him.
You know, when you walk out after chirping the way that you did leading into the game against LeBron James and the Lakers, just the same as I just said about Julius Randle, for you not to be available to talk, that's pathetic. Number two, you really gonna blame it on the media? The media has made you look a certain, really? Let me ask you this question, Dillon Brooks. You really think that we've sat up here on national television, put Kendrick Perkins up on the screen. I want to see him. I want to see him when I say this. You really think that all of us pundits, male and female, black, white, Asian, Latino, everybody, you really think that when we actually came on TV and said, let's figure out a way to talk about Dillon Brooks. You really think that? You're not John Morant. Hell, you.
And unfortunately, I couldn't agree with Stephen A. Smith more. For Brooks, he can't argue against any criticism by pointing to his play. He's averaging 11 points in the series on 32% shooting and an abysmal 25% shooting from long range. If he doesn't step up his game soon, he will be subject to even more scrutiny in the media. As of right now, at the time of this recording, they will be going into Game 5. But the way I see it is that even if they win tonight, they are just prolonging the inevitable by being first round exits. And I know Ja being injured has a big play in that, but he shouldn't have dug a hole for himself and make enemies with every team they face. Let me know how you feel about the situation down in the comments, and if you made it to the end, make sure to like. Subscribe if you're into content like this, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.